My name's Jacob Vengjian. I've been with Trailer Bridge now 13 years. I'm the Vice President of the Caribbean, and I help out in the sales area and operations, as well as dealing with a lot of the government issues and regulations that go on the island. So the relationship with Plaza Provisions is really excellent. We have open communication. They understand the cargo that we can handle for them and the reliability of that cargo, how it comes in. They're able to track it when it's available, when it's coming in. And we're a phone call away, and a lot of companies aren't that right now.
My name is Linet Delgado. I am the National Sales Executive for Trailer Bridge in Puerto Rico and the Caribbean. I've been with the company for 7 years. For me, Trailer Bridge is the boutique carrier because we are the smallest one, and that helps us provide a personalized service that the others can't.
Jose Matos, President for Plaza Provision Company. I've been with the company 3 years now. I've been working with Jacob for the past 3 years, but Jacob has been working with Plaza for over 20 years. We do have a daily communication and relationship with Trailer Bridge. We talk with Jacob and his team on a weekly basis. Currently, we carry close to 60 to 65 containers on a monthly basis because we know there's a consistent shipping procedure every single week with Trailer Bridge.
This is a relationship business. Logistics is personal. And we have to develop these good relationships with our customers in order to serve them, in order for them to trust us. For me, that's key. That's the main service that I sell. The relationship that we can have with our customers, the relationship that we can have with their team, and the relationship that they could have with our team in Jacksonville.
No email, no call, nothing will replace that relationship. Has to be a face-to-face relationship. That's what we carry with Trailer Bridge. That's what we carry with our shipping companies. So we do have a really big pride on understanding that you guys are always going to be there for us, making sure that we have visibility and making sure that we have a weekly, consistent shipping procedure with Trailer Bridge.
Customers really want to be able to provide a quick, reliable, and cost-effective service. And one of the things that we try to do is we also try to let them know, like, look, you've got 8 or 10 containers that are sitting at your warehouse for more than 8 or 10 days. Those are accumulating demurrage. You need to be more efficient. You need to be able to unload those and get them back to us so that we can continue to be more efficient for you and keep helping you. And customers initially might think, wow, you know, that's not great. But at the end of the day, when they're saving money and they realize that you're actually helping them, that's a good thing. And that's what I look forward to. Like a case with Jose, he actually appreciates the fact that we send him a report on his container inventory on a weekly basis.
I have many customers that we became friends out of this, but they love our account managers in Jacksonville. There's a lot of other ocean carriers in Puerto Rico, and they selected us because of the service we provide. It's very different than what Trailer Bridge provides to the market of Puerto Rico in terms of being there, in terms of having someone in Puerto Rico who can help us. You have to have empathy with their customers' problems and make that customer problem our problem.
Our culture is so customer service oriented. We're really at Trailer Bridge more like a family, and we know a lot of these people. Puerto Rico is a very close-knit community. Trailer Bridge does not only care for their employees, they also care for the people of Puerto Rico.